I'm tired of watching this person succeed, that person succeed. Because you know what? I got every bit as much ability and talent and dream as they do. The only difference is they've done it and I haven't. You got to own your life. You got to own your attitude. Every day you get up, decide how you're going to live your life. I say be a matador of discouragement. I have a talk I do, a matador of discouragement. That means when you get up in the morning and something happens to you that would ruin your day because it's really made you mad or upset, you know, it's just the perfect, oh my God, what a way to start my day. Okay, so you had a bad deal happen. Move it aside. Compartmentalize it. Okay, that was bad. Shouldn't have happened. Darn it, pissed me off, makes me upset. That's it. I'm putting it in the compartment. I'm leaving it there. Because 3 or 4 or 5 other things are going to come up later in the day. And whether you handle them differently or the same depends upon the day you're going to have. Because 5 more things are going to come up. And if you're still living in the reveling in the crap of the first thing, you're going to go 0 for 5. If you leave it alone, you're going to go 4 and 1. Because you're going to win at the rest of the day. And that's your choice. You control this in your attitude, in the business, in your life, in your relationships. If you have troubles in your relationships, get help. If your marriage is in trouble, go get counseling. Start there. Go do something about it. Don't sit and complain about it anymore. It's not going to move you forward in your lives. You know, evaluate, what are the things in my life I need to start working on and changing? Then go do it. And quit being lazy and apathetic and giving up. You're too darn young to give up. There's too much life ahead of you. Posture and presence. So I challenge you to take point 5 and take these 4 things and sometime in the next couple of days write down the 3 ways you can improve each one. Take it with you. Tomorrow, whenever, sitting by yourself, look at your notes and say, how do I improve? How can I improve 3 ways to improve owning my own business? How do I do 3 ways to improve owning my life? What are 3 ways I can do to improve owning my attitude and my posture and presence? What is my posture? What do people believe about me when they see me? What do I represent to them? So write those things down for yourselves. I think it'll be enlightening and help you move forward. A leader has absolute confidence in their sweet spot. Our path is the way we travel. Our vision is where we travel. And our purpose is why we travel. Our path is the way we travel. Our vision is where we travel. And our purpose is why we travel. Your sweet spot. I talked about it earlier. It's the thing that you know that you know that you know. When I got into business in 1979, I knew I'd found my sweet spot. And it wasn't Amway. It was people's lives. It was going out and taking all the crap that happened to me and turning it around and doing something with it. I knew that was my calling. That was what I was to do. That was my sweet spot in my life. Some of you, the longer you're in the business, the more you kind of are starting to get it. And the more you get it, the more you say, this is it for me. I got it. I get it. It's that sweet spot. It's like playing baseball and you hit a certain point on a bat. If you do a good swing, it's going over the fence. Because there's about a 6-inch sweet spot on a baseball bat. And if you hit the ball right there, it's gone. It's the right swing, that location. Same way in our lives. What's your sweet spot? Because once you know what it is, then I guarantee you that all you do now is you go out and finish. And you finish strong. A leader has absolute confidence in their social style. Number 7, strengths and weaknesses. They look in the mirror and see who they really are. We talked about the social styles. If you haven't read, the newest book that's just come out is called Wired That Way. It's by Marita Littauer and Florence both, who wrote the Personality Plus. I suggest picking up that book. It's the most recent one written. It's called Wired That Way. If you haven't done that, please get it and take the test and start reading the strengths and the weaknesses of your social style, because it's going to be so enlightening to you. It's enlightening to raising your kids. You're going to see, those of you that understand it, you look at your kids and go, I got a sanguine, I got a melancholy. All your kids are different. It's like crazy. They're like, and you know what? You can't discipline them the same. You can't raise them the same. They're the same family, same household, same morals, but you're going to have to do everything with them differently. I mean, my oldest son was just stubborn, argumentative. He's a wonderful kid. He's so bright that he could outthink me, so he always argued with me. And I'm bummed because sometimes I didn't win these arguments. But you know what? We'd argue, and he knew ultimately he had to respect me and that it was going to be ended. But he would, and so he and I would go at it, and he's stubborn. And when he was a little kid, I'd smack him on the butt. My daughter is the most compliant. I don't think I've ever raised my voice at her in her lifetime. She's like this perfect child. And they're like in the same family, the same household. One of them I want to send away. The other one I want 5 more of. You know what I'm saying? But I had to raise them both. And if I didn't understand how different they were, I would have tried to do everything the same. And you can't do it. You can't do it in your business with your people. So know that. You got to take the mirror test. I said about it earlier. You got to look in the mirror every day and say, I want to find people like you. I just need to find people like you. I got to understand myself. I can't help you understand you till I understand me. And there's things about us we have to look past. If I, look back for. If I have a fear of failure, why do I? If I have a trouble with relationships, why do I? If I have these issues in my life, why are they there? That exploration helps us grow. It also helps us become educated so we can help our people grow. So you take the mirror test. Here's a great quote. It says, no one can consistently act in a manner inconsistent with the way he sees himself. No one can consistently act in a manner inconsistent with the way he sees himself. I had so many people in my business that would get started, really start tearing it up and doing well. All of a sudden they go stagnant, they go flat. And you know what I realized it was? They came to a point where they couldn't see themselves any more successful. They sabotaged their own business and took it backwards because they were so afraid of what the next level was because they couldn't see themselves in there. They were playing a good game. They were acting like a leader. But how long can you go being inconsistent with who you really are, trying to be somebody else? You can't. And that's why as you grow as a leader and you obtain more information and more knowledge through books and tapes and association and being around the people, you rise up and your business follows you. Numbers follow leaders. So the stronger you become as a leader, the more you deal with those issues in your life, the more your business can grow because you go to the next level. If someone's equal to your leadership, you're not their leader anymore. Someone else is. So that's why I always want to improve and get better so I can lead my leaders. And that for each of you should be your goal. Be the person that's the leader of leaders. I know that's Robert's goal. When I first started working with him, I want to be one of the top leaders in Beachbody, not just in my own business, but in this company. I want to shine in this company as a top leader. I love guys like that. And that's what you should want to do. Number 8, a leader gets it, the whole story. It's kind of what we've been talking about all day today. What are we really? Somebody said to you, what's Beachbody? What would you say? What would you say? Oh, tell me that Beachbody thing. What is that? What would you say? Who are we really? Tell me, who do you think we really are? What are we really about? Are we about Shakeology? Yeah. Are we about P90X? Yeah. Is that it? What else are we about? People's dreams and vision? Yeah. Are we about people looking healthier? Yeah. We're about all that stuff. But what are we really? You need to know the answer to that. Because when I ask you that and you share that with passion and emotion, I want to know more. If you go, well, we're kind of, you ever seen an infomercial? P90X, work out, really cool, really bitchy, really cool. That's who we are? Who are you? Right? What's your business? You've got to learn to answer that, you guys. About what really it is to you. And if it's nothing more than P90X, it's going to take a while for you because you need to get a little deeper commitment. And when you get it, like we're talking about here, when you get it, what we really are, because see, I believe if you really got it, you could not talk to 10 people tomorrow about what we are. Because they need what you got. They're dying. They're dying, literally, physically dying, the world. The people around us that you walk by every day are going to die. You have dads who will not see their kids go to college or get married. We have grandparents who right now want to see their grandkids, and you know what? They're going to die. And yet we have a message, and not only a death physically, but a hopeless death that so many people are living right now. Your friends, your relatives, who try to act like, I live in Orange County. They buy things they don't want with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like. That's where I live, okay? Everybody looks good. They drive Mercedes. I just had a coach come in Rochester and spend a couple days with me in Orange County. She goes, does everybody drive cars like this? Because it's all Mercedes and Lamborghinis and Ferraris. It's crazy. Those people can't afford them. I guarantee you most of them are going to lose their homes, but they ain't losing the image. Right? But people around us are living this hopeless life. And if you get it, then how can you fear talking to somebody like that? How can you fear worrying about what they think about you because you want to help them in their life? It's like, please I want to help you, please. Please let me help you. No, it's like, I got something you need. You know what it is? It's me in your life. That's kind of what it is. It's me in your life. I may not say that to them, but I believe that. Because if I can just spend enough time with them, they're going to believe differently than they do today. And that's who I want to be in their life, and that's who you are in their life. Gosh, don't you just want to go out and find a bunch of people like that? Because they're all around you. They're at the Little League field. They're at the market. They're at your soccer games. They're out at your gym where you work out. It's where they live. And they go home hopeless for one more day. So I think when you learn that, you start to realize that maybe I need to be all in. Maybe it's time for me to be all in. Number 9, a leader's accountable to another. They're willing to mentor and be mentored. As we establish common ground by walking the paths of others, our ability to influence change is increased. As we establish common ground by walking the paths of others, our ability to influence change is increased. That's what I've been talking about all day. Oh, you too? I thought I was the only one. Let me tell you what I found. You know, C.S. Lewis, a friendship's born when we both agree that we've walked the same path. So many of those people are out there like you guys. Maybe not exactly the same, but the same types of things. Accountability. Find somebody to mentor you, you guys. Get somebody in your life who you trust. You know, some of us use somebody for a spiritual part of this, someone for marriage, maybe someone for the Beachbody business. But find somebody who you trust that will mentor you. And those of you here today, and so I don't really know who my upline is, my sponsors, go upline, find out, ask questions. There's got to be, I guarantee, I know the top level leadership in this business. It's who I work with. And I promise you, if somebody calls them in their downline and says, I need help. I want to go 15-star diamond. I want to go 10-star diamond. I need someone to love on me. I need someone to help me. I'll work as hard as I can work. And if you call any one of us, you know, if I had a business and you're my down, you're going to get my time. I'm going to qualify it. I'm going to say, okay, here's who do this, this, and this, and call me back. I'm going to see how serious you are. And if you do and you keep coming back, I'm going to keep talking to you. So if you're here today and you haven't had someone to learn the business from, go find them. Work upline till you find that person who will, and then turn around and give it to somebody else. You know, mentor. You know, there's a great book by Tony Dungy called Mentor Leadership. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, about the power of mentoring and how important it is in our lives for men and for women. So be willing to search out for a mentor, and then turn around and be willing to be mentored. Point number 9: characteristics of a leader. Number 1, focus. If we chase 2 rabbits, one escapes. If we chase 2 rabbits, one escapes. We all have so many things we do in our lives. We're parents, we're moms, dads, we're husbands, wives, all these things. But when I talk about focusing on this business, it doesn't mean you give it 100%. I mean 100% of your time. But you give it 100%. You have to have things every day that you're going to do. At the beginning of the day, what are the 10 things you're going to do in your Beachbody business? What are they? Listen to my CD on how to start a new coach. I give them. Here's 10 things to do. Right? Do them every day. At the end of the day, check all 10 off and go to sleep. And feel good. Don't check off 8. Don't check off 7. Right? So you need to figure out what those are. You need to focus. I was on a call one night with Chalene Johnson, and she was doing a call for Platinum Presenters, and what she has to say. And at the end of the call, she said, any questions? So I opened up my mic. I go, Chalene, this is great. She goes, oh, what's going on? Because I've known Chalene before she was ever Chalene Johnson famous. Both my sons played football for Brett Johnson, who was the head football coach at Mission Viejo High School, where my kids both went. And I knew Brett and her before she had even cut one video or anything. So I've known her for years. So I said, let me ask you a question. I said, if you lost everything today, gone, all your income, your multi-million dollars, your fame, everything, what was one word that would describe your future? She said, focus. I'd focus on the one thing I'm great at. What is the one thing in your life you're great at? What is the one thing in your life that you know, I'm good at this? Is it people? You know, is it motivating? Is it speaking? What is that one thing? One thing that you're great at. Is it influencing lives in this business? I'd take that one thing I was good at, and I would give it every bit of passion, every bit of effort, every bit of ounce that I have of everything I am. And I think for some of us, we need to get to that point to build a big business. Focus. All this is going on. Focus. When I was a kid, we used to use a magnifying glass. And maybe some of you have done this, but we used to use a magnifying glass, and you could burn, like, you could take a leaf and burn your initials in it. We used to blow up ants, which I don't want to say that, because now I'm going to be on CSI or Criminal Minds or something, like you started out burning ants or something. But anyway, you know, but the thing that's interesting about it, if the light's too big, nothing burns. But as you move the what's it called? Magnifying glass, as you move it and it gets finer and finer, it burns. Okay? So some of us are up here with our Beachbody business. If we'll go down and take that thing down to that fine burning point of focus for 24 months, that's it. 90-day increments. From this day, 90 days from now, that fine point burning tip of focus, you'll have a huge business. No question about it. It can't stay, the light can't stay up. It's got to get fine-tuned to where it burns. And that's what each one of you are going to need to do to move forward. Humility. Humility. To me, it's the most significant thing in leadership. If you look at the leaders that I've had a chance to get to know in Beachbody, the humility part of their life, Tracy Morrill, Doug Fitzgerald, you know, the different people that you watch their lives and they live a life of humility. It's not what they've done is a big deal, but it's not to them. Because they know they never would have gotten to where they were if they didn't take a bunch of people with them. So it wasn't about them. So you can always take credit for your success, but it's always a team. That's what I love about it. It's always a team. Because by the time you're 15 Star Diamond, you probably got 10,000 people in your organization. It's a team. It's the individual running, but it's the team that wins. And that's why the humility has to be there. You know, don't start reading your press clippings. Don't start trying to figure out how great you are. Just keep staying humble, staying in the building mode, and staying involved in people's lives and feeding them. And your business will grow. Next point, integrity. I got a couple quotes here that I love. I'm going to read from Emerson. It says, every time we say we will do something, accomplish something, and we don't, it chips away at our own self-esteem. Every time we say we will do something, accomplish something, and we don't, it chips away at our very self-esteem. How many of you in here have said, I'm going to go diamond. I'm going to do this week. I'm going to do that. And after a while, we become numb to it. Because we don't even expect to fulfill what we just said. It comes out of our mouth with us knowing we're not even being honest with ourselves. We know there's no way that's going to get done. You know what that is? That's no character. That's no integrity. If you don't have your word, if your word isn't good, if you aren't truthful, if you aren't honest about your business and about your life, there's no way in a million years you can ever be successful in this business or in life at all. So it's a matter of doing what you say you're going to do, because every time you don't, it chips away, and now you feel worthless. You feel worse about yourself. And pretty soon you stop trying because you just know, I'm going to let myself down. Quit letting yourself down. Quit letting yourself down. Quit accepting your own excuses. Y'all ought to be diamond in the next 30, 60 days. Every one of you. I don't care what your business looks like. You should be there. Quit letting yourself down. Pretty soon it's okay to fail. That's hogwash. It's not okay to fail. If you knew the next 30 people you showed this business to would get in, how quick would you show them? How fast would you show the next 30 people if you knew they were all getting in? Oh, crap, I'd be on the street corner with a sandwich board. Right? How do you know they won't? If you knew you couldn't fail, how big would your dream be? If you knew it was impossible to fail, you can't fail, how big's your dream now? Scary. But we dream small because we don't want to fail. I say dream big and don't.